The last time that I spoke to this crowd, I was still on the Los Angeles Center's payroll. It was spring of 19, and we had just announced that I was coming home to try to help Affirmations out of a little bit of trouble, just a little bit. And in less than a year, we had Affirmations back in the black, and we were building a team, a very strong team, and our heads were just above water. And then a worldwide pandemic. And I'm on the board of directors of Centerlink, the National LGBTQ Community Centers Network. And on that board consists of some of the most experienced and influential CEOs and executive directors of the largest centers in the entire country: Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, Chicago. And I'll be honest with you all. When COVID first hit, we all looked around that table and there weren't a lot of answers. I mean, how do you run a community center when you have to shut the front doors? How do you run a community center when you can't have gatherings like this? And without this amazing Affirmations team and stepped up community support, after just getting the organization back to stable condition, COVID could have destroyed Affirmations, but it didn't. It made us stronger. Because whether Ronald Reagan or Donald Trump, this was certainly not the first time that the queer community has faced down a virus under an incompetent and homophobic administration. And as with the AIDS epidemic, we survived COVID by coming together to protect one another. We secured the single biggest grant in the 30-plus year history of Affirmations, a 3-year, $1 million gift to increase COVID vaccinations throughout the queer community across the entire state of Michigan. We wrote all of the queer community centers into that grant, helping to secure resources for our sister organizations. We are not simply surviving COVID, we are thriving, and that is because we are working better together. And that's not just the LGBTQs. How many straight allies do we have here this evening? You can do better than that. You know, people ask me all the time, what is it to be an ally? And often I will ask them to close their eyes. Close your eyes and think about a time that you were being bullied on the playground of your youth. And for as much as it hurts to be bullied, often what hurt more was looking around and seeing your friends do nothing to help. And if someone actually did step in and have your back, man, you were friends with that person often for the rest of your life. That's being an ally. We have to have each other's back. We have to fight together. Many of us in this room have been fighting for the queer rights movement for a really, really long time now. We used to be the young guys, remember? We remember the past. We remember all of the infighting and the turf wars throughout Michigan's queer community. It's dumb. We don't have time for dumb. We do not have the luxury of fighting one another 500 yards back from enemy lines when we are all needed together, shoulder to shoulder, out front. Look at us, us and everyone in this room, working together on the Hate Won't Win campaign across the state. Equality Michigan shares space at Affirmations. The Human Rights Campaign has space at Affirmations. SAGE has space. Stand with Trans has space. Because Affirmations is the community's building. The Ringwald Theater lost their space because of COVID. They'd been there for like 15 years, and now they call Affirmations home. The Metropolitan Community Church of Detroit calls Affirmations home now and serves our community, and they have services every Sunday at Affirmations. And I'm a big loudmouth atheist, but it is the community's building. And while I personally do not believe in talking snakes or virgin births or resurrections or gods, as long as people of faith are not hurting anybody, then it is their constitutionally protected right to make that religious choice, and I will forever fight for their right to do so, as long as they are not hurting anybody. And as long as they understand that no religion, no Bible, no Quran, nor any religious text supersedes the Constitution of these United States. I am forever sick of so-called Christians picketing out front of Affirmations with their God hates fag signs, and nowadays with guns on their hips. Yes, that just happened. Look, the last time they were out front of Affirmations, I wanted to fight. My beautiful sisters are here this evening, and they will be the first to tell you that I've had trouble walking away from fights my entire life. The community wanted to fight. People were literally pulling their cars over in the streets of Ferndale to get out and get in the faces of these MAGA Christian extremists. And now, all of a sudden, our side is getting pretty big. I'm looking around and I'm thinking, we can take these guys. But here's the thing. They wanted us to fight. They wanted us to take a swing. That's why they came in front of Affirmations with their guns and their video cameras in their hands. They wanted me to swing and sue Affirmations, or get in a fight and sue the city of Ferndale because they're on a public sidewalk. Honestly, I think that they wanted someone to take a swing so that they have a defense when they pull that trigger. Stand your ground. More like provoke to kill. Most of the worst mistakes that I have ever made in my life, I have made out of anger. Tequila, a close second, but mostly anger. So these guys are looking for a fight, and more of our people are showing up. And it was at that moment that a community member came up to me, and he had like a Bluetooth-held speaker, like the size of a brick. And he says, kind of in a whisper, "Dave, you want me to play anything?" So I said, "Gaga, duh." And he turns to play Lady Gaga, and I say, wait, before you play Gaga, can you play the YMCA song? And he gives me a strange look, but he does it. He did it. So the next thing you know, our side are all doing the YMCA dance in front of these guys with signs and guns on their hips. These guys had no idea what the hell's going on right now. And I looked over. Is Melanie here, the mayor? Melanie, I looked over, and a Ferndale police officer is doing the YMCA with us. So now the cops are there, the crowd's getting bigger, and I make eye contact with their leader guy. And I motion for him to step aside for a second, and we do. And I say to him, "So, where are you going with all this? Like, you've got your videos, go raise your money on YouTube. Where do you think this all leads?" And for the first time in over 3 hours of this jackass spewing his hate, calling us fags, and never shutting the hell up, he's dead silent. So I lean in and I say, look around. You're fucking surrounded. I literally said, you're fucking surrounded. I felt like such a badass. We showed up that day. Not just the queer people, the entire neighborhood. I saw a straight guy from Pop's Italian restaurant next to Affirmations. He came out of Pop's Italian. He planted a pride flag right in a planter out front of the protesters, muttering the whole time, oh, hell no, not in our neighborhood. So the whole time I'm having these step-aside words with this guy, a Ferndale police officer stays within earshot. And this guy looks around at the still-growing crowd, and he takes a few steps over to the officer, and they have their own little step-aside conversation. And a couple minutes later, the officer comes over to me and says, Dave, he wants to leave, but he's afraid that they all won't be able to get back to their car safely. And I said, no shit, because I'm eloquent like that. And I'll never forget it. The officer said, Dave, we've de-escalated this far. Let's not let someone get hurt now. So the Affirmations team got everybody to go inside of Affirmations, and we hold a little rally inside. Kathleen, you remember? And the Ferndale Police Department escort all of these guys back to their cars safely. And by the way, and I think this is important, the entire time that they were out there, the community raised $10,000. I was like, can you come back next Friday? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Kind of, I'm kidding. The community did that. You all, us, we did that. Listen, in just over 3 years, Affirmations has gone from almost closing its doors and 3 employees to 20 employees. This team in the back, this board of directors, you did that. And for the first time now, we have 3 full-time licensed therapists on payroll, a full-time care coordinator. The 2023 budget is going to be $2 million. We have helped deliver hundreds and hundreds of COVID vaccinations, and recently, hundreds of monkeypox vaccinations out of Affirmations. And we just received a 4-star certification, the highest mark from Charity Navigator. The community did that. You did that. Together, we did that. And so, if you're a queer kid and someone out there is hurting you, Affirmations is here for you. If you are a senior and you're being mistreated in an assisted living facility, or you're lonely and you're isolated, Affirmations is here for you. If you are in love, and that lover is hurting you, or you are just queer, trying to live your life and go to the theater or worship in peace without judgment, Affirmations is here for you, because Affirmations is the community. And in this community, on this playground, we protect each other. Thank you very much for being here tonight.
Dave Garcia, wow.